Welcome to Around Town. I'm Jean Allman, and we are on the stage of the Dunn Center at North Carolina Wesleyan College with Dr. Al Sturgeons, who is the conductor of the Tar River Philharmonic Orchestra. And we also have Christian Herring, who is the choir director for Salvation and Deliverance Choir, the winner of the best church choir in America, located in Tarboro, North Carolina.
Yes.
Wow. And we are here to talk about April 5th when, in fact, I think it's going to be a sellout. You've got four fantastic groups: the adult choir, the children's choir, the orchestra, and your choir, Salvation and Deliverance, all performing on this stage that night. Al, tell us about it.
It's going to be a big night. I'm especially excited to be collaborating with this talented gentleman here. We have not worked together before this concert, but I discovered someone sent me a YouTube clip, I think you're going to show at the end of the program, of this wonderful choir, and I said, wow, they are right here in our backyard. We've got to do something to get these guys on stage with the orchestra, and we're really excited about that. So he's going to be doing a set with his choir. We have our adult choir singing a couple of things with the orchestra. We have the award-winning Tar River Children's Chorus performing, Patsy Gilliland. And then at the end, we're going to do a big finale number, John Rutter's arrangement of When the Saints Go Marching In, which will be accompanied by the full orchestra.
Yes.
Everybody on stage at once at the end?
Yeah.
And I bet the audience will be on its feet just singing right along with you.
Well, I think they're going to be certainly moved, that's for sure.
Great.
But the whole program is sort of centered around gospel spirituals and traditional gospel numbers, and maybe Christian can speak to the, I don't know exactly what selections you're doing in your set, but we've got a lot of tie-ins to that. And for folks who are perhaps our more classically oriented folks, we're doing a Verdi overture to open the program, and we're doing a little selection from Beethoven's Hallelujah from the Mount of Olives. So we have sort of spiritual repertoire spanning a wide array of a wide period of time, all the way up to today.
And the Tar River Philharmonic Orchestra is extremely talented. I mean, this area has won the lottery of Philharmonic orchestras, haven't we?
Well, I think Rocky Mount is truly blessed to have this resource in their community. It's not just the orchestra, but it's 6 other ensembles as well. And the interesting thing about this one, as you noted, Jean, is that so many of the ensembles are collaborating together on this program, the children, the adult choir, and the orchestra. And the other kind of interesting thing about this is each of the 7 ensembles have their own conductor, and all but one of them will actually be on stage, of the conductors that is, will be on stage for this performance. We have the conductor of the wind ensemble plays in the trumpet section. We have our youth strings coordinator playing in the violin section, and of course Patsy's involved, and Michael Glasgow, who leads the adult choir, will be singing and conducting, sharing the podium with me. So it's really kind of a big family affair, and we're really pleased to welcome this guy to the family for this concert.
What ages are in your choir, Christian?
Wow, from about 18 to 60.
Okay, so it's more of an adult choir than a children's choir.
Yes.
And since you sing every Sunday at 11:30 and everybody's invited to your church in Tarboro.
That's exactly right.
I bet the walls just practically fall off with the strength and the beauty and the power of such a talented group of people.
We try and make that happen every time we perform.
Yeah, like the walls fall off. Yeah,
of course.
But tell us about some of the awards. I mean, one of the piece that we're going to watch, we won the Verizon Singing Award. I mean, since 1996, your choir started just winning year after. I mean, big monetary awards. I consider $15,000, I guess, a big monetary award. But
yes, indeed.
You compete all over, and just more often than not, it looks like you win.
Oh, we are very blessed and very fortunate to have a lot of singers, great singers in the area. I always talk about how North Carolina, Eastern North Carolina, has something in the water. So that's a testament to our area. I talk about the accomplishments we've received. We were the Quaker Oats Voices of Tomorrow Youth Choir Gospel Choir Competition winners. We won that. We won the McDonald's Gospel Fest in New York City. We went to Las Vegas and won Verizon's How Sweet the Sound. Is the name of the competition. So we've been very fortunate to win first place every time we perform.
How big is the choir?
About 40 singers.
Oh, And do you have a lot of longevity? I mean, once people join, that's probably the highlight of their lives for a lot of them.
That's exactly right. The most of us have been singing together for about 25 years.
And can you tell us what you'll be singing on April 5th?
Yes, I will. We'll do the piece that you all will see at the end of the program. Hallelujah. Well, that's a request for us to do that one. So we're looking forward to doing that piece. We're going to do a spiritual piece entitled Just Tell Jesus. It's a classical piece that has a gospel twist. So we're interested in doing that. We're looking forward to doing that as well. Yes.
And then, of course, the Tar River Adult Choir and the Tar River Children's Choir, and Patsy Gillen, her choir has won awards too.
Yes, absolutely. And they, like Christian's Group, they do a lot of touring all over the country as well. So it's really great to get the word out to folks of all the great things that are happening artistically here in Eastern North Carolina.
Well, and Al, you mentioned Bring the Family. I think this is really a wonderful
clearly,
opportunity.
yeah.
If people have been hesitant, maybe if it's all an orchestra, no offense, but some children might not be as engaged, but with the singing and the variety, I mean, this has just tremendous appeal to everybody.
Well, and they're going to see their friends and neighbors on the stage, children of all ages. I can't remember exactly how young Patsy starts them, but there'll be youngsters singing in that ensemble, high school age, singing for, I think we have some young folks singing in our adult choir, young folks, and well as older community members as well. So it's an opportunity to come out and support your neighbors and see your friends on stage.
And support music, this type of music. It's a common thread of joy, and I read the other day it increases your intellect if you listen to a lot of music. I mean, it helps stimulate brain cells, so hey, I mean, what's not to
That's what we'd like
want
to
to
think,
come?
right?
That's what the data says.
Well, let's right now take a listen to your choir. Kind of intro it for us.
Well, it's a piece, a Hallelujah chorus that everyone knows. And so we've taken that and added a gospel approach to it.
Great.
And so you have what you have. That's not my interpretation, the choir's interpretation of what Handel's Messiah would sound like present day.
Wonderful. Christian, I'm ready. I mean, people are going to have a ball that night, aren't they?
We hope so. That's the aim.
The energy is just palpable, and I love that it's a faith-based songs. I mean, it's just so obvious that you all just love sharing your music with this group. And Al, how many people will be on stage then for the finale?
Well, Christian and I were just speaking about this. For that finale, I think we're going to have, so he's got about 40 singers, we have about 40 adults, then Patsy's kids are about 90 adults, plus 50-ish in the orchestra, so I think we're going to have to hang people from the rafters somewhere.
But they're
And,
already be hanging from the rafters with
no,
the music.
no kidding. But it'll be an interesting challenge. The afternoon of the actual performance, which is April 5th, 7:30, will be the first time that we put everything
And that's
together.
a Saturday, right?
Yes, that's right. So Saturday afternoon, we'll get here on stage and try to get all those final pieces to interlock somehow by some miracle. And then, if we don't wear ourselves out, then that night, that's when the rafters really come down.
That's
Well,
exactly
and
right.
students get in free. The Wesleyan
Yeah.
students get in free. I guess
think
are all
students, right?
And for other people, it is such a deal. How much is it?
The tickets are $13, and it's
Wow.
general seating. So that's, it's for what you're seeing, or all these ensembles combined. It really is a bargain.
And get here early because I can't imagine it wouldn't be packed.
Yeah.
Absolutely packed.
Indeed.
Oh, tell us a little bit more about what y'all will be playing.
Well, we tried
orchestra.
we tried to find, as I mentioned earlier, sort of a broad array of things that fit the larger theme of spiritual and gospel repertoire. And one interesting work that I've been really dying to do for a lot of years is an excerpt from an oratorio by an American composer, Kirk Meacham. And it's actually, the piece is called Songs of the Slave, and it's excerpts of an opera he wrote, John Brown. And so we're doing two excerpts that talk about Frederick Douglass and his relationship with John Brown, so that's going to be very exciting. The chorus is loving that. And then, of course, the Verdi Overture I mentioned at the top of the interview is the overture to Nabucco, and it features that beautiful Va Pensiero theme, which is the song of the Hebrew slaves. So you can see this sort of whole tie-in that we're trying to do with that. And then we've got another spiritual by Andre Thomas that's been orchestrated. And let's see what else. Of course, When the Saints we mentioned, the Beethoven piece. Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh yes, the Adolphus Hailstork. Thank you. Three spirituals arranged by Adolphus Hailstork, which opens with Every Time I Feel the Spirit, and he's a very significant African American composer living in the Baltimore area.
Wait, and a lot of the songs seem very faith-based too. Is
Oh,
that kind
absolutely.
of the theme
Yeah.
for this?
That's part of the theme, to be sure. Yeah.
And I'm sure Patsy, with her talent and her
Yeah.
love of Christian music,
Yes.
will be having those 90 young people.
She's got a couple of ensembles, and when they're all combined, they're 90. Yeah.
Oh, golly. Well, people do need to go ahead. I feel certain it's going to be a sellout and that people just need to go ahead right away
That's our hope. We'd love to fill this room.
and get up here. Let's talk a little bit about the Philharmonic Orchestra. What does it mean to be Philharmonic?
Well, the Philharmonic term is just sort of an old, it's an old term. I mean, we sort of use the term symphony orchestra now, which means the same thing.
Is Philharmonic a small symphony or is
No,
it?
no. I mean, if you think about the New York Philharmonic, it's just an older label for symphony, for large symphony orchestra. But it's sort of I think just to say it's the Tar River Orchestra would be perhaps less confusing to people. But we don't want the term Philharmonic to be off-putting or scary to anyone.
Oh, we're not scared. I mean, how can you hear about what they're going to be doing that night?
Yeah.
But for Rocky Mount, because you have conducted some really high quality, larger city orchestras, tell us about why you think we really need to support this orchestra.
Well, as I mentioned, Gene, I think this model is unique as far as I know in the country, to have one umbrella organization that features 7 different ensembles. I don't know of any other group, any other organization in the country that does this. And to have an orchestra of this quality and this caliber and this professional level in a community of this size is really quite an amazing thing. And we would love to see everyone come and support that. Our marketing theme for the last year or two has been Love It Live. And I think, in this day of media, and people can, pick up their phones, cell phones, and turn on the TV and listen to music at any point, to actually be in the room and to hear it live, there's no mistaking that, the energy that one gets from a live performance. So we hope that the next Saturday everyone will come and love this live, because it's going to be a wonderful concert.
And they're for the whole family to come. And Christian, speak to that, because you see the reaction that young people have to your choir.
Yes, yes, especially in the decay of the traditional family as we see it. Now's a perfect time to bring out bring out your brothers, bring out your sisters, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, mothers, fathers.
Not babies, though.
Anyone
Probably
who wants
not.
to come in here.
I think that's okay. Well, if they start crying, take them out.
Please.
Of course, that's
But,
proper
yeah.
etiquette.
I think to start to expose them at a very young age.
That's
is
exactly
really,
right.
Yeah, really important.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. And for $13, I mean, that if one were to go to something like this, Allen Raleigh, what would it
Oh,
cost?
well, probably 4 or 5 times that easily.
That's
yeah.
the truth.
Yeah.
And we can get tickets at the Dunn Center always. And I would just think that would be the best place to go online
Yeah.
for the Dunn Center, or call out here and ask them and get them to reserve the tickets for you. But again, it's sit anywhere. So you want to get here early, get the best seat possible, and just come plan to have a great time.
That's what we want.
Oh, yeah.
We know they will.
Oh, we will. We're going to take a break, and Christian, I believe you're going to head back to your choir.
I will do that.
And Brenda Crocker is going to join Al and me. Stay with us, please.
Are you just starting out on your own and want to be independent? Do you have a family and need a bigger home? Are the kids moving out? And are you downsizing? First Carolina Realty can help. A 1 or 2 bedroom apartment or house for those starting out. A 3 or 4 bedroom home for a growing family. Rentals, sales, new homes, pre-owned homes, investment property in the city or in the country. Call First Carolina Realty. Now is a good time to make that move. Real estate prices are right, interest rates are low, and there is a fantastic selection of homes available. First Carolina Realty is a full-service licensed real estate firm with offices located at 1100 West Thomas Street, open 9 to 5:30 Monday through Friday. If you have rental properties and are tired of the headaches associated with managing them yourself, or if you're looking for a new management team to manage your rental properties, call First Carolina Realty at 252-985-2321. Visit our webpage at firstcarolinarealty.com. We will gladly help you with all your real estate needs.
Hi, I'm Jean Almond of Almonds Drugs, and I want to invite you to be Almonds customer for your prescriptions. Our average pharmacy wait for your prescription is only 10 to 15 minutes. We have drive-through windows at both locations. We will deliver your prescription free. Our friendly and very experienced pharmacists specialize in consultation, and we are locally owned and have been a loyal part of your community for over 70 years. Just make one phone call to us and we'll make the transfer so we can start taking care of you. We are back. We're going to now talk about April 17th when the Swing Band is going to be performing right here too. And Brenda Crocker has joined us, and of course Dr. Al Sturgis, who is the conductor of the Tar River Philharmonic Orchestra, is here. Everybody loves the Swing Band too, don't they, Brenda?
Yes, they really do. And it was started in 1999 by J.C. Sykes. And they play, you know, music that I would say 50 on up really appreciate. Now we're trying to introduce it to the younger folks also. And this time in this concert, they're going to be playing music from Hollywood and Broadway done in a swing band style. And it'll be songs that you recognize, such as My Favorite Things, Old Man River, Send in the Clowns. So it'll be a very fun concert.
And Brenda's going to sing some of those.
Oh, yeah, right.
Good, Brenda. That'll make it even more fun.
She's one of our star altos, you know, in the adult choir.
Right,
too.
right.
She's not going to mention that. But she's being modest.
And there are a lot of local people. I mean, there's a not fairly tight geographic area where they come from.
Well, we do have, they call them ringers, because they're very particular about who they have play in the swing band, because it's not an easy music to play correctly. I'll put it that way.
Correctly.
Yeah.
And it's got to be tight.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we have people that come from Cary and Little Washington and Greenville and Rocky Mount. We have a dentist, we have a doctor, we have a computer engineer, just all kinds of walks of life, and public school music teachers, band directors, and some that have retired and some that are still working. And so it's a group that knows their music, and they practice once a week on Thursday nights, and it is, in our household, you don't miss it, you know, unless you're
They love
sick.
it. I mean, it's for the love of playing. I
Right.
mean, these are people who just have it, the talent, and they've got it in their bones, and they really just thoroughly love participating.
Well, it kind of got started when J.C. Sykes started it, and in the high school band in its heyday, they had a jazz band, and actually some of the players in the band played for J.C. in those years, and so they loved him. But now we have a new director named Dr. John Wacker, and he's our percussionist, and I think he has a perfect name, Wacker.
for a percussionist. Absolutely, gosh.
John's a great drummer, too.
Yes, he
He's
is.
the head of percussive studies at ECU down in Greenville, but he also plays a mean trap set and
Yeah.
leads the band from the drums and drum set.
Yeah,
Well, it's the 17th,
right.
and people can get tickets from the Dunn Center.
That's correct.
What day of the week is that? Is that
That's a Thursday night.
Thursday night, okay. And what time does it start?
It starts at 7:30, and the tickets are $13, and all
That's
students
just-
get in free.
And we've discussed that before you came. All students means high school kids, you know, any school.
And when they're in community college, as long as they have a college ID, they get in free.
Al, while Brenda was coming over here, we talked about your family, and you started out your children at a young age, exposing them to music. And talk about that and the importance of that, please.
Well, I think it's so important. And of course, in my line of work, a lot of people assume, well, your kids, you must force them to take lessons and do all this. And I think the most important advice I could give to anyone would be exposure. Exposure is so key. And that way, the child has the choice of what they're drawn to. But if they never experience it, then they don't know. And my kids, from the time they were infants, I mean, they were sitting in the audience, and so they've always heard music, and of course they hear it around the house a lot too. But you know, I think that's the best thing that a family can do is bring the kids. You know, and just let them see it. And in the program we talked about earlier is a great one to do that, and so is the swing band, because the pieces are a little bit shorter, a little bit more familiar, a little bit more, you know,
They can get up and move around.
yeah, exactly. They don't have to sit so still and listen for an extended section of piece or something like that. There's a lot of clapping. So, you know, they've got a chance to have a break every now and then and fidget if they need to. But I would encourage, definitely, bring the kids. Yeah.
it might introduce them too to thinking, well, maybe I'd like to play an instrument, or maybe
Exactly,
I'd like to
yeah.
sing. And I know my husband made a comment the other day. He said, I can't read music. And I thought, that's really sad, because he loves to dance. He's got great rhythm.
He
But I
does.
made sure that my children each played an instrument, and one played the piano. Suzuki piano is a little fella. And they are very glad that they can read music. So this might kind of spark those.
It could light the fire, and you never know. The orchestra just last week did an education concert that we do here in Nash Rocky Mount Schools for the fifth graders, and I know that John Wacker has also started a new program with the swing band into the schools as well.
Right.
A jazz, introduction to jazz, and the orchestra that we do for the fifth graders. And it's a wonderful thing. I mean, we do a little, you know, this is what the string section looks like, and we play a little example, and then they practice conducting, and we talk about different, you know, styles of music, and we talk about exposing them to different composers that they might not know otherwise, and talk about some terminology. But most importantly, they just get the opportunity to hear this music live. A lot of them have never seen a live orchestra before.
And if all they've ever heard is kind of just rap music, then
Yeah.
this is a different exposure to a different type.
It can be very eye-opening. Yeah, you
Absolutely.
never know who you're going to reach.
Oh, and I bet you do reach more than you ever find out they do. Brenda, I want you to talk about Al.
Well, let's see. What
Dr.
can I
Sturgeon.
say?
I mean, we are so incredibly
We are.
blessed to have you in this area,
Thank
and
you,
we
Jean.
just thank you for what you've done for us. But Brenda, kind of give us a little background.
Yeah, he very talented, and we were just discussing it a while ago. We think this is his 11th season, and he directs the Master Chorale in Raleigh. He conducts the Carolina Ballet. So there are lots of things that he does, but for him to come to Rocky Mount, we feel very fortunate that he thinks enough of us to come.
And we're able to attract and retain better musicians when they feel like they have somebody really talented directing them.
And he knows people to call when we need violinists or, different people. He knows, gives the personnel person a list to call and says, maybe they'd like to play.
And drop his name in that.
That's right.
Let's right now, the swing band, we've got a quick piece that we're going to watch part of just so we can whet your appetite for April 17th. So let's take a look at that and then we'll be back to wrap up. Boy, that was fun. I mean, both evenings, April 5th, a Saturday at 7:30.
Right.
Thursday, April 17th.
Correct.
At the Dunn Center. I just think we really all need to just come out and do ourselves a favor by having a wonderful time.
Right.
Brenda, where can people get tickets?
Here at the Dunn Center by calling, or you can go online. And I would say hurry and get your tickets, particularly for the April 5th concert, because I think that really is going to fill up. And of course, lots of people love the swing band. So at the same time, you could go ahead and get your swing band tickets. You only have to make one trip or one request. And they're only they're only $13, and that's cheap. I mean, when you stop to think, because it cost us about $20,000 to do a concert.
Really? Mm-hmm. And the 4 groups, Al, that are going to be on stage on the 5th, I mean, that's huge talent, all here on one stage.
Almost 4 shows for one ticket cost.
That's right.
Ticket cost.
$13. Can't beat that. Can't even go to the movies for that.
Well, and Brenda, thank you for the work that you do too with the league, with helping the volunteer group that does a lot of work behind the scenes. Al, I'm sure you
absolutely
benefit tremendously from
no
her.
question. A lot of great fundraising efforts go through that group. And,
Percy Sledge, I was
That's
here
right.
having a good time. So
we couldn't do without the league.
That's right.
And we can't do without you either. So please plan to come, and we'll see you there.